excited about the potential of that, not just for young women and professionally, but also for young men, and to give them the ability to play this game. It works for us internationally, but it gives people a chance to understand this game, and particularly the young women is the feedback I get from them is how helpful it is to them in building their self-confidence, and to be able to play this game is joy for them. And so for us to be able to share that, I think is a positive thing, whether it's as a future Olympian or a high school player.
The NFL has seen its share of drama, but nothing, absolutely nothing, comes close to what just unfolded between the league's own commissioner and Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. In a shocking confrontation that insiders are calling one of the wildest meltdowns in NFL history, Commissioner Roger Goodell reportedly exploded behind closed doors, unleashing a tirade that left even veteran staffers frozen in disbelief. And the reason? Shedeur Sanders. Yes, the rookie quarterback who's become the most polarizing figure in football has now sparked chaos at the very top of the league. Rumors suggest Stefanski's handling of Sanders has triggered outrage that could reshape the Browns' entire season, and maybe even shake the foundation of NFL leadership itself. Buckle up, because this isn't just about football anymore. This is about power, egos, and a rookie quarterback forcing the entire league to choose sides. When news first broke that Commissioner Roger Goodell had erupted in a fiery confrontation with Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, insiders thought it was an exaggeration. After all, Goodell has seen everything: lockouts, scandals, suspensions, and even lawsuits that rocked the NFL to its core. But this wasn't about money, TV deals, or labor disputes. This was about one player, one rookie, one young quarterback whose name now echoes across every sports network and dominates every trending hashtag, Shedeur Sanders. According to multiple insiders who were present, the confrontation unfolded during what was supposed to be a routine high-level meeting. Stefanski had been summoned to New York after whispers began circulating that his mishandling of Shedeur Sanders had already cost the league millions in TV ratings. That's right, the NFL's golden ticket, its most hyped rookie in decades, wasn't even on the field, and already networks were bleeding viewership. And when the commissioner brought this up, Stefanski's calm, almost dismissive response lit the fuse. Goodell, normally a controlled and corporate figure, slammed his fist on the table. Witnesses say his face turned bright red as he barked at Stefanski. "Do you realize what you're doing? Do you understand what Shedeur Sanders means to this league?" The room went silent. Even veteran executives who've weathered scandals like Deflategate and Bountygate couldn't believe what they were seeing. The reason? It wasn't just about Shedeur's playing time, it was about the business of football. Insiders revealed that NFL execs had already calculated a staggering dip in primetime ratings whenever Shedeur was benched. Networks like ESPN and Fox were furious. Advertisers were demanding answers, and social media was in flames with "Free Shedeur" trending nightly. Fans weren't tuning in to watch backup quarterbacks, they wanted the Sanders magic. And the Browns, under Stefanski's leadership, were denying them that spectacle. But here's where things got personal. Sources say Goodell accused Stefanski of sabotaging the league's future. He allegedly shouted, "You don't just have a quarterback, you have the son of Deion Sanders. You have the most marketable rookie since Patrick Mahomes, and you're wasting him on the sidelines?" The air was thick with tension. Stefanski, usually a measured speaker, pushed back. He told Goodell that his responsibility was to his team, not to TV ratings, not to league marketing, and certainly not to fan hashtags. "Shedeur isn't ready," Stefanski said coldly, according to one insider. "And I won't risk the locker room just to give the league its poster boy." That was the moment Goodell exploded. Witnesses say he leaned across the table, pointing directly at Stefanski, his voice thundering so loud it rattled water glasses. "If you don't start him, this will become a national crisis. You think I care about your locker room? I care about this league, and the fans are making it clear. Sanders is the future." At this point, staffers report that Stefanski's jaw clenched, his eyes narrowing. The Browns' coach wasn't about to be bullied. In fact, his response only escalated the chaos. He allegedly fired back, "You're not on the sidelines. You don't see what I see." If you want Shedeur to play so badly, why don't you come down to Cleveland and call the plays yourself? The room gasped. No one had ever spoken to the commissioner like that. Immediately, rumors swirled out of that meeting and leaked onto social media. Goodell vs. Stefanski began trending within hours, with fans posting memes of the commissioner red-faced, screaming at Stefanski. A NFL insider tweeted, "Hearing major fireworks between Goodell and Stefanski over Shedeur Sanders. Lines have been drawn." Sports talk shows lit up with debate. Some sided with Stefanski, praising him for protecting the team and not bowing to media pressure. Others accused him of arrogance, suggesting that the Browns' coach was putting his ego above the league's most promising star. Even Shedeur Sanders couldn't resist posting cryptically, "Funny how everyone got an opinion on my son. But trust me, he was built for this moment. Y'all gonna see." That single post sent fans into a frenzy, sparking theories that Deion himself might intervene behind the scenes. But here's where it gets even messier. Multiple sponsors have allegedly warned the league that if Shedeur isn't featured, they'll scale back their deals. A Fortune 500 executive reportedly told the commissioner directly, "We're paying for Sanders, not for Stefanski's pride." Imagine that. The very money that keeps the NFL machine turning now threatened because of one coach's refusal to cave. And yet, Stefanski remains defiant. Behind closed doors, he's reportedly told Browns ownership that if Goodell pushes him, he'll walk away. "I'm not coaching a marketing campaign," he said, according to a team source. That bold stance has shocked many around the league. Can you imagine? A coach openly defying the commissioner of the NFL while the entire sports world watches? Meanwhile, fans are growing restless. Cleveland supporters are split right down the middle. Some are furious at Stefanski, calling for his firing with hashtags like #Fire Stefanski and #Start Shedeur trending daily. Others back him, saying Shedeur needs more time to adjust and that throwing him in too soon could derail his career. But here's the wildest part. Insiders claim this confrontation isn't over. In fact, one league exec told reporters, "This is just the beginning. There will be fallout, and it's going to be ugly." And if that's true, the NFL might be on the verge of one of its biggest internal power struggles ever. Because here's the cliffhanger. Who will win this war of wills? The commissioner trying to protect the NFL's brand, or the head coach trying to protect his team? And where does that leave Shedeur Sanders, the young QB stuck in the middle of the storm? The moment word leaked that Goodell had confronted Kevin Stefanski, the sports media machine shifted into overdrive. Every morning talk show, every debate panel, every late-night host had the same burning topic. What on earth is happening inside the NFL offices? And the storyline wasn't just about football anymore. It was about power, money, and a league desperately clinging to its golden boy. ESPN's First Take wasted no time. Stephen A. Smith erupted live on air, yelling into the camera, "This is ridiculous! This ain't about wins and losses no more. This is about business. It's about Shedeur Sanders being the face of the NFL. And Kevin Stefanski, let me say this respectfully, you are about to find yourself on the wrong side of history." His co-host tried to calm him, but Stephen A.'s words spread across Twitter like wildfire. Clips of his rant went viral, sparking hashtags like Shedeur era and NFL power struggle. Meanwhile, FS1's Colin Cowherd took the opposite stance. He defended Stefanski, saying, "Look, I get it. Shedeur is a ratings machine. But this is pro football. You don't hand the keys to the franchise over because the commissioner says so. Stefanski's job is to win games, not to run Goodell's marketing plan." Immediately, fans flooded his mentions. Abron's Dog Pound tweeted, "Finally, someone with sense. Stefanski's protecting Shedeur. We ain't trying to ruin him like the Jets did to Zach Wilson." But here's where things spiraled. Insider leaks from within the Browns. Locker rooms started trickling out, and they painted a picture far worse than anyone imagined. Players were divided. Some veterans were reportedly frustrated that Shedeur was being held back, arguing that his presence could spark the offense and ignite the team's playoff hopes. Others feared that throwing him into the fire too early could wreck his confidence and the chemistry of the locker room. One anonymous player told ANFL Leaks, "It's crazy in here. Half the guys want Shedeur starting yesterday. The other half are backing Stefanski. Feels like the team's about to split in two." That tweet alone racked up 40K retweets in an hour. Sports blogs jumped on it, calling it the Browns' Civil War. Suddenly, this wasn't just coach versus commissioner, it was player versus player, with Shedeur caught in the crossfire. And then came the bombshell. Shedeur Sanders himself entered the chat. Coach Prime, who had been relatively quiet up to this point, broke his silence with a cryptic Instagram live. Wearing shades, looking calm but deadly serious, he said, "I don't play games with my kids. Y'all think this is just football. Nah, this is business. And when people start playing politics with my son's name, I take that personal." He didn't say Stefanski's name, but he didn't need to. The implication was clear. The league, the Browns, and anyone standing in Shedeur's way had just been put on notice. That live stream racked up millions of views within hours. Fans spammed the comments with "Uacher Coach Prime" and "Iker stand with Shedeur." Even celebrities chimed in. King James tweeted, "Business is business, but talent always wins out. Shedeur's time is coming, and y'all can't stop it." That endorsement from LeBron James sent the internet into overdrive. Imagine the power of LeBron co-signing Shedeur against the NFL establishment. It wasn't just football anymore. It was pop culture, politics, and celebrity clout colliding in one messy explosion. At the same time, networks like ESPN and Fox Sports reportedly held emergency meetings. Why? Because their numbers were tanking. Without Shedeur on the field, ratings for Browns games had dropped nearly 20%. Executives were panicking. One insider told Sports Business Journal, "We can't sell this product without Shedeur. Advertisers are threatening to pull out unless he's starting." Think about that. Multi-million-dollar deals tied directly to whether a single rookie QB plays. That's unheard of. Meanwhile, Stefanski doubled down. In his weekly press conference, he looked visibly irritated as reporters bombarded him with Shedeur questions. When asked if he felt pressure from the commissioner, Stefanski snapped, "I don't coach for ratings. I coach to win football games. The commissioner doesn't set my depth chart. I do." That clip instantly went viral. Bleacher Report posted it with the caption, "Stefanski not backing down, your NFL drama." The fallout? An avalanche of commentary. Some praised Stefanski's backbone, saying he was standing up against a league that too often prioritizes money over the game. Others called him reckless, accusing him of sabotaging not just Shedeur, but the entire future of the NFL brand. But the most shocking twist came late that night, when a leaked memo allegedly revealed that Goodell had considered disciplinary action against Stefanski for conduct detrimental to the league. That's right, sources claim the commissioner explored whether he had the power to fine, or even suspend a head coach for refusing to cooperate, on a league matter. If true, that would be an unprecedented abuse of power, and it sent shockwaves across sports law circles. The legal debate exploded on Twitter. Lawyers, analysts, and ex-players argued non-stop. Sports law prof tweeted, "If Goodell tries to discipline Stefanski over player usage, it's going to court. Period. This would set a dangerous precedent." Meanwhile, former Browns QB Bernie Kosar went on a Cleveland radio show, calling the situation a circus and saying, "This ain't football anymore. This is WWE with helmets." And he wasn't wrong, because as the drama grew, so did the spectacle. ESPN ran segments comparing this saga to some of the NFL's biggest scandals, Deflategate, Spygate, and even the Colin Kaepernick saga. Headlines screamed, "Goodell versus Stefanski. Who really runs the NFL?" The narrative was spinning out of control, and the league was looking more fractured by the day. Yet, in the center of it all, Shedeur himself remained eerily quiet. No tweets, no interviews, no public comments. That silence only fueled speculation. Was he frustrated? Was he loyal to Stefanski? Or was he waiting for the perfect moment to make his own explosive statement? The mystery surrounding him only amplified the chaos, leaving fans desperate for answers. And here's where the cliffhanger comes in. Multiple insiders reported that a secret meeting was scheduled for the following week between Goodell, Stefanski, and Brown's ownership. The topic? Shedeur Sanders' immediate future. And word on the street was that if they couldn't reach an agreement, the fallout would change the NFL forever. By the time news of the secret Goodell-Stefanski meeting hit the press, the Browns' locker room was already boiling over. What had started as whispers between teammates turned into full-on shouting matches in practice. According to one insider leak to The Athletic, multiple players had to be separated after an argument over Shedeur's role nearly escalated into a fight. The leak described the scene vividly. You had one group of veterans yelling that Shedeur wasn't ready, and another screaming that the team was sabotaging him. Coaches had to literally step between players. It was bad. This wasn't just tension anymore. It was an open fracture in the team's foundation. Social media went nuclear when an NFL insider posted the headline, "Browns players fighting in locker room over Shedeur Sanders' role." Within minutes, hashtags like Browns Meltdown and Free Shedeur were trending worldwide. Fans weren't just commenting, they were taking sides, forming what some online users jokingly called Team Stefanski versus Team Shedeur. But things escalated when Myles Garrett, the face of the Browns defense, was asked about the chaos after practice. Normally calm and measured, Garrett looked visibly annoyed. His cryptic response, "We need to figure out who we are as a team. I'll leave it at that." That one line ignited endless debate. Was he backing Stefanski? Was he throwing shade at the coaching staff? Or was he sending a message that the team was spiraling? Then came the shocker. Multiple anonymous sources revealed that some younger players were considering staging a quiet rebellion. The rumor was they were planning to intentionally leak internal playbook notes and practice footage to pressure Stefanski into giving Shedeur the start. One source claimed it's about forcing his hand. If Stefanski won't do it, the players are going to make the public demand it. And just like that, the Browns weren't just fighting the commissioner anymore, they were fighting each other. Meanwhile, in New York, NFL headquarters was scrambling to contain the fallout. Leaks suggested that Goodell had been receiving calls from major broadcast partners, CBS, Fox, NBC, demanding answers. Advertisers, already furious at declining ratings, were reportedly threatening to pull millions from future NFL deals if Shedeur wasn't front and center. One source put it bluntly, "This isn't about football anymore. This is about protecting the shield. And Shedeur Sanders is the shield now." But in Cleveland, Stefanski was doubling down harder than ever. In a late-night press availability, he shocked reporters by saying, "I've been coaching football my whole life. If people want to turn this into a circus, that's on them. But I will not be bullied into decisions that hurt this football team." Those words, "I will not be bullied," spread like wildfire. ESPN plastered it across the bottom of their screen in bold red letters. FS1 replayed it a dozen times in one segment. On Twitter, fans speculated that Stefanski wasn't just talking about Goodell. He was calling out Deion Sanders directly. And Coach Prime wasted no time responding. Just hours later, he jumped back on Instagram Live. Wearing a gold chain and his trademark shades, Deion fired back, "Ain't nobody bullying you, brother. But let me tell you something. When you've got the next face of the NFL in your hands and you don't recognize it, that's not coaching, that's negligence. You're messing with destiny, and destiny don't wait for nobody." Boom. With those words, Deion versus Stefanski became the storyline of the week. Sports podcasts lit up. On the Pat McAfee show, former players debated whether Stefanski was protecting his QB or torpedoing his career. Pat himself laughed and said, "Man, this feels less like football and more like Game of Thrones. You got kings, you got heirs, and everybody's fighting for the throne." Meanwhile, fans in Cleveland were split down the middle. At one home game, half the stadium reportedly chanted, "We want Shedeur," while the other half booed. Videos went viral of fans wearing Free Shedeur shirts clashing with those defending Stefanski. Cleveland had turned into a battleground, and just when you thought it couldn't get crazier, Shedeur finally broke his silence. Late one night, he posted a single tweet. "Y'all don't even know the half." That's it. Just 8 words. But those 8 words sent the internet into meltdown. Within an hour, the tweet had over 500K likes. Fans dissected every possible meaning. Was he hinting that Stefanski was sabotaging him? That the league was plotting behind the scenes? Or that there was a deeper scandal waiting to surface? Former NFL star Terrell Owens retweeted it with, "I know exactly what he means. Stay tuned." That only poured gasoline on the fire. What did T.O. know? Why was he hinting at something bigger? Insiders scrambled to uncover what Shedeur was really talking about. And then came the most shocking leak yet. A mysterious file appeared on Reddit, claiming to be internal text messages between Browns coaches. One of the alleged messages read, "We can't put him in yet. Too much pressure from upstairs. Let this storm pass first." If real, it proved that Stefanski wasn't just making a football decision. He was actively resisting commissioner interference. The NFL quickly denied the leak's authenticity, but fans weren't buying it. The thread exploded, with commenters saying it all lined up perfectly with what insiders had been hinting. The top comment read, "This isn't football anymore. This is corruption at the highest level." Suddenly, Shedeur wasn't just the center of a football debate. He was at the heart of what some were calling the biggest NFL conspiracy since Deflategate. The biggest NFL conspiracy since Deflategate. And here's the kicker. Multiple insiders reported that the secret meeting between Goodell, Stefanski, and Browns ownership wasn't just about Shedeur's playing time. It was about something far more explosive. The possibility of removing Kevin Stefanski as head coach if he didn't comply. That's right. Rumors swirled that Goodell was pushing the Haslams, the Browns owners, to consider firing Stefanski mid-season. The idea sent shockwaves across the league. Coaches and GMs everywhere panicked. If the commissioner could strong-arm ownership into firing a coach over a player decision, then nobody was safe. One anonymous GM told The Ringer, "If this happens, we're all in trouble. That's the end of coaching autonomy forever." But here's the real twist. Stefanski wasn't alone. Reports surfaced that multiple head coaches were quietly rallying behind him, vowing to resist commissioner interference. One coach allegedly told colleagues, "If they take Stefanski down, we all go down next." The NFL wasn't just facing a PR nightmare, it was facing a potential coach's rebellion, and in the middle of it all, Shedeur, young, quiet, and unpredictable, was holding all the cards. His next move could decide the future of not just the Browns, but the entire NFL. The hospital walls felt colder than ever as night settled in. King Harris lay motionless in his hospital bed, the machines keeping him alive beeping rhythmically like a countdown to an unknown fate. Outside the room, the family that had once been glued together by fame and success was now splitting at the seams. T.I. sat in silence, staring at the floor while Tiny clutched her chest, mumbling prayers under her breath. Zonique had been crying quietly in a corner, unable to understand how her little brother's life had spiraled into this nightmare. And yet, despite the pain, the chaos outside the hospital was reaching new heights. Fans camped outside, refusing to leave. Some were even holding candles, chanting King's name as if willing him to wake up. Social media had become a battlefield. Pray for King trended across platforms, while conspiracy theories spread like wildfire. One viral post claimed King had been poisoned by someone close to the family. Another insisted this was an elaborate cover-up after a fight went wrong. The speculation was endless, and every hour a new twist emerged. But then came the breaking news that shattered what little peace the family still had. A supposed leaked text exchange between King and one of his close friends surfaced online. In it, King had allegedly confided about being watched and feeling like something was coming. The messages painted a haunting picture. King wasn't just another rapper caught in drama, he had sensed danger before it all happened. Fans immediately connected this to his final goodbye note, fueling the theory that King had been set up. Inside, sources claimed that T.I. exploded when he saw the leak. "This ain't no coincidence," one insider allegedly overheard him say. "Somebody wanted my son gone." That one line ignited a firestorm. Suddenly, the narrative shifted from tragedy to possible betrayal. Was someone inside King's circle responsible? Or was it an external enemy, jealous of his rising stardom? The questions only deepened the wounds, and the family had no answers to give. Meanwhile, the doctors weren't helping. Reports swirled that King's condition had taken a critical turn. He was experiencing brain swelling, and the medical team was unsure if he would ever fully recover. A devastating headline hit the media that night: King Harris may never rap again. Fans couldn't believe it. How could someone so young, full of life and destined for greatness face the possibility of losing everything? As if that wasn't enough, another shocking twist surfaced. A video started circulating online, allegedly showing King just days before the incident. In the clip, King looked shaken, almost paranoid, as he told a group of friends, "If anything happens to me, just know it wasn't an accident." The footage was chilling. Viewers dissected every frame, from his trembling hands to the tone of his voice. Had King been living under a hidden threat? And if so, why didn't anyone step in? Back at the hospital, the Harris family's pain was becoming unbearable. Tiny reportedly begged the doctors for good news, only to collapse when they told her the swelling in King's brain could leave permanent damage. T.I. stormed out of the hospital for hours, only to return looking angrier and more determined than ever. One insider whispered, "Tip said he's going to find out who did this no matter what it takes." The tension wasn't just inside the family. It had spread to the music industry. Rappers and celebrities began weighing in. Some expressed heartfelt prayers, but others stirred the pot. An anonymous rapper tweeted, "Sometimes the ones closest to you are the ones pulling the strings." Fans immediately speculated about rivalries, old beefs, and industry politics. Could King's downfall have been orchestrated by someone threatened by his potential? At the same time, King's friends began to fracture under the pressure. One close associate went live, breaking down in tears, claiming they knew more than they were saying but were too scared to speak out. The live stream cut off suddenly, leaving viewers stunned. Within minutes, clips of the stream went viral, and hashtags like Huge King Setup and Do Who Did This skyrocketed to the top of trending lists. The chaos was unstoppable. Reporters swarmed the hospital. Paparazzi clashed with fans holding vigils. Police had to step in to control the scene, but the frenzy only grew louder. And then came the most gut-wrenching moment yet. The doctors requested a private meeting with T.I. and Tiny. Sources whispered that they were discussing whether or not to keep King on life support if his condition didn't improve. That news tore through the internet like wildfire. Could the Harris family really be forced to make such a heartbreaking decision? Fans were in disbelief, begging and pleading for a miracle. The family, meanwhile, went completely silent. No statements, no interviews, just silence. And that silence only added to the mystery. By the time the sun rose the next morning, the world had shifted. King Harris was no longer just a rapper or celebrity kid. He had become a symbol of tragedy, betrayal, and unanswered questions. And with every new leak, every new theory, the story grew darker and darker. The only question now was, would the truth ever come out before it was too late? But just when the world thought they had seen it all, one final twist emerged. A hospital worker allegedly leaked a voice memo from inside King's room. In it, King's weak but recognizable voice could be heard whispering something. The audio was muffled, unclear, but one phrase stood out to millions of listeners. Don't trust them. Who was King talking about? Who couldn't be trusted? Was it someone in his family, his circle, or the industry itself? The audio ended abruptly, leaving the world shaken to its core. The Harris family was blindsided when the leak went viral. T.I. reportedly smashed his phone in frustration, while Tiny begged the public to respect their privacy. But by then, it was too late. The damage had been done. The story was out. The world had heard King's chilling words, and the conspiracy theories reached their boiling point. And now, the entire world waited with bated breath. Would King survive long enough to tell his own story? Or would the truth remain buried forever, hidden behind hospital doors and family silence? One thing was certain, this story wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Before we close this chapter, let's be real. This story is nowhere near finished. King Harris's fate still hangs in the balance, and the Harris family's silence has left the world desperate for answers. Was this tragedy a tragic accident, or was it a betrayal planned long before that chilling final goodbye note? And what about that shocking voice memo, the whisper of "don't trust them"? Who was King warning us about? These are the questions everyone is asking, and until the truth comes out, the speculation won't stop, and right now, all we can do is pray for King and stand by his family as they navigate the darkest storm of their lives. But you already know how fast things are moving. One new leak, one insider revelation, and everything could change in an instant. If you've been following this journey with us, you understand the weight of this moment. This isn't just celebrity news. It's a story that feels bigger, heavier, and more personal than anything we've seen before. So, here's what I need from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think King meant when he whispered, "Don't trust them"? Do you believe this was a setup, or are we watching a tragic accident spiral into a storm of conspiracy theories? Let's talk about it, because your voice matters in uncovering the truth. And of course, if you want to stay ahead of the next twist, because trust me, there will be one, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join our community as we break every shocking update. This story is far from over, and the next revelation could change everything. Next revelation could change everything.